Hello, everyone. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back. Welcome back. Let me make sure we're live because I can't tell. Yeah, I am live. So, welcome back. Welcome back. Today is Sunday, April 26th, 2026. And on Sundays, we normally do the spiritual reading. However, I'm more intrigued about Uranus in Gemini, the transition. And while I was thinking about this, as many of you know, trigger warning, I do bibliomancy. But a scripture kept coming in my head, and it says, my people suffer from the lack of understanding, right? Which is Hosea 4:6. So basically this means that in today's time, now on the, to make it more applicable to today and what we're talking about today, that people are in trouble because they don't understand what is true, right? Information. Gemini is about communication. The communication is going to become faster and faster because of Uranus. So when people don't learn or pay attention to important knowledge, it can lead to bad results. We have a society that half listens. In Holiday Heart, one of my favorite movies, he says we're, I'm going to tone it down, we're a microwave society. We want everything quick, right? We want shortcuts. We want it here and now, right? Fast food, a fast food society, even when it comes to learning things. Me and one of my friends was talking about how, let me back it up. So I started learning about AI in 2020. Okay, they started talking about, and the sociologists, professors were talking about how it was going to affect the everyday worker. Now we're seeing, which I told you yesterday, it's going to start affecting athletes. If you've done seen certain ads, which may not be legit yet, but they're working on it, is AI lawyers going straight by the books. Judges even too, right? So there will be no bias. So these are theories of mine. But being a history major too, and just being alive this short period of time in my life, I've seen a lot of changes. One thing I want you to think about, if you're my age or older, think about the Bionic Woman and the what was the $1 Million Man. Their aesthetics, their replacements was just sci-fi, right? The Jetsons, I believe, was created in the 60s, right? Now we see a lot of that technology. I shared the other day one of my favorite cartoons as a little girl, Inspector Gadget. And Penny had a notebook, right? She had a book that was a computer, and she had an Apple Watch. This was in the 80s. Now we have these things. So this tells me one or two things. That someone was a fortune teller and they didn't know it because of their imagination, or they knew that they were already creating this technology and now they're perfecting it. I told you about Nikola Tesla. We all know Tesla, right? We all know that name now. But when in his time, I told you, he was considered eccentric, very crazy. Okay? So back to this scripture, what I want to tell you about, and how this is applying to all of us, right? If you don't understand important things, or you have the wrong information, you can make mistakes and things will go wrong. Over time, if you don't learn and stay informed, your life or your community can become less stable and more likely to have problems. We see this in education. So at the same time, I was learning about AI. I was learning about how I can learn how to teach from this phone. I'm going to talk about this phone in a minute too, right? And a lot of the technology, I took a class, it was called Inequality in Education. So we are well aware that some schools have more technology, better books, better teachers than poverty-stricken or underrepresented communities, is how they put it, right? You and I both know what they're saying, okay? There has been technology that in schools they had 10, 20 years before it gets to an underrepresented community. I like to use the example of when I went to a school, a different school when I was a little girl, when I was Shane age. And when I went to the school, the children were so advanced. They were already speaking different languages. They were already they was in a second, third grade playing chess. They were already doing dissecting frogs and engineering. They was already learning about mythology. I took mythology when I was in the 5th grade. Took it again in college, which we're going to talk about that. Okay? And I left that school because I knew I couldn't keep up. Plus, I was in culture shock. I'm going to be honest. I was in culture shock. But then when I went back to my old school, I didn't fit there either. Because the little time that I spent over there, I was a little bit more advanced. Okay? So, if we're not on top of things for our communities, it's going to affect us and the children, okay? Even if they're not your children, somebody kid is going to be taking care of your butt when you get older, okay? And then you will have insufficient things in your community because they're not on top of it, okay? So the other day yesterday when I was talking about Uranus and Gemini, I used a terminology about Uranus being a higher octave of Mercury. What does that mean, right? I wasn't thinking. So basically, it's like, to break it down, you have a game system, right? And they do the same thing. But Uranus is like the newest technology. Faster, better graphics, quicker, you know? So that's a way to explain. I was doing a comparison on my phone, which a lot of the young people can tell just by looking at it because of the size, right? It's an older model. And I was talking to one of my colleagues when I was at ASU as a student worker, right? They had, I guess, the I-17. So I asked them, what can your phone do besides take better pictures that mine can't do? Because I know your camera is better than mine, right? Other than that, what can it do that this phone can't do? Nothing. The only thing it can do is it can process apps faster, right? And the battery lasts longer. I looked it up. And better pictures. But long as my phone can get me on Facebook, check my emails, make phone calls, I can look at Pinterest. I got really good pictures, but I don't care about pictures because I've been taking pictures since Kmart, baby. Polaroid. Never needed a filter. That's my arrogant side. Okay? So I never needed that. I don't need a filter. Plus, I'm not scared of getting older. Right? Another thing I want you to understand about Mercury and Uranus. Right? I know a lot of people is going to miss this, but I'm going to keep this up as long as I can. In mythology, Mercury is not only the god of communication, he is the god of thieves and liars. Okay? So if Mercury is the god of kings and liars, right? And now we're talking about the planets. So I have a theory. What is going to happen is that thieves and liars are going to get better. I've already saw it. Last year, I got a letter in the mail that said that I had some unpaid fine through the state of Arizona, and that I had to pay this or I was going to jail. Paraphrasing, right? And I'm like, I haven't gotten into any trouble. What is they talking about? So I called and said, oh, we're going to switch you over to Mr. Such and Such. And Mr. Such and Such was really charming. We're going to help you. We're going to get, and I was like, wait, what is you talking about? What charge? You got to ask questions. And the more questions, the more I questioned him, he got angry, right? He said, you got to pay this. I said, you know what? I'm going to call the court. Oh, he was furious then. Well, I can't save you. Okay. Let me just double check with the court system first, right? Called the court, wasn't nothing there. So then today, I saw one of my friends on their post, they got an email faster, right? Email's faster than snail mail. And the whole document, I'm looking at the document, it looks legit, right? I don't know how, I didn't ask. How did she know it was a scam, right? And I thought to myself, I said, you know what? Someone who gets in trouble, that is a crook or a thief, that's doing something right now, they may be a little fearful. And they might, without even thinking about it, go ahead and give them people the money. It had the QR code and everything on the letter so they can just upload it to their phone. And a lot of y'all keep y'all money on y'all phone. You gotta think about that, okay? So, let's get into what I'm talking about today. The I Ching. The I Ching was from what my teacher taught me, because I am initiated into tarot, right? I went to have formal training in divination. I Ching is one that I like using because it helps you to navigate through changes. And this one, so this was the more appropriate form, I feel like, for today. So I asked a question, and I'm not going to rush through this. I'm not. Your impatience is not my problem. And your impatience will be your problem during this transition. So again, I advise that you get somewhere quiet where you have time to listen. Okay? So my first question is, what shifts in communication, knowledge, and shared ideas will humanity experience during Uranus and Gemini? And so the first that I drew, because I draw it, I cast the I Ching and then I have to draw the hexagram, is thunder over fire. Number 55, abundance. So this is a time of information overload, rapid activity, and peak intensity. So everything will be speeding up at once. News, conversations, technology. The technology, I already told you about phones and all that. It's going to be much faster and much quicker and way more expensive. And that's how they get you. Because people feel like because they spent so much money on something, it gives them a sense of superiority. Okay? Yeah. That's what they believe. News, we're going to talk about that. You're going to see your news feeds pinging and ponging day and night. If you do not utilize that do not disturb button and quiet time for yourself, because it's going to be really noisy. So people will be flooded with information more than ever before. So if you have some kind of learning challenge or like ADHD or I don't know, a short attention span or something like that, you're going to be lost in the sauce. When I'm doing my personal clients, I tell them, I will not do a reading for you when there's a lot of activity going on, because I can see they're not listening to me. They're looking all around. They're trying to keep up with all this information. Then they say, what did you say? You can't pay attention. So what I have done with my clients, I record it and I send it to them. And I tell them to make sure you're alone and you're in a quiet space where you can listen, because you will miss the information. I was talking to my other friend the other day. I have a friend, and they was telling me they was having some problems, and I just was honest because we've been friends for many years, over 40 years. And I told them, I said, friend, your problem is you're too nosy. And my friend started laughing. Said, ooh, let me get away, because that's what my husband been talking. And he said, I told her, and I said, you nosy too, right? She gets distracted because she's too nosy. And you're going to get lost in the sauce during this transition. So the communication will seem fast, loud, and everywhere all at once. So say you got TikTok, IG, Snapchat, Facebook, YouTube, Pinterest, Reddit, and not even that, there's going to be new apps coming out, right? You already got these apps. Your phone going to be lit up. Your mailbox too, if you decide to go through a slower mode. So everything is going to seem super busy and full of energy. I'm thinking of that old movie. Oh, I hate that movie. That's why I can't. It was the Atari game. Oh, God, what was the name of that? God, it was what is that movie? And like, my friend was talking about Speed Racer. They was watching Speed Racer, but it was something, it was an Atari game. Put it in the comments if you know what I'm talking about. It was a Tron, right? So if you look for you gamers, and that's because I want to be able to connect with everybody. My generation, the older, we know about games, right? We played the first Street Fighter, the first Madden, the first, I see that they're talking about horror games now, right? And I'm looking at these horror games. I'm like, this reminds me of Resident Evil. Y'all remember Resident Evil? Boy, that was scary as well. But they got new games that's similar to that, right? And I think it's more scary because of the graphics. The graphics are better. Now, if you're a gamer and you like to see, and you like the history, play that game with your device that you have now. You can be scared of your okay? So the upside about this is that there's going to be major innovations in how we share and process information. I already told you that now when we go into the doctor's office, they give you an iPad, right? You just go through it. They email it to me. My doctor emails it, make sure all my information is still the same, and I check in from home before I even get there, right? I don't have to sign that paper like the old way no more. I told you they could do it from texting, right? You could do that. You could scan QR codes. I'm getting there. So now they have, I like to talk about the medical field. They have it now where your pharmacy, your doctor, your dentist, your other specialists have access to your records all in one system, right? So they can run it, which is a good thing because then they'll already see it and it won't be it minimizes the mistakes. So new ways of thinking spreading quickly across large groups. You'll have new ideas, right? New school thoughts. It's going to even be newer, a newer approach to the way people think. And chances to understand things better and notice what's really going on. So it's going to be ways that it simplifies things and breaks it down so mass majority of people can understand what's going on. Now, the challenge in with this hexagram is that it'll feel like it's too much happening. Oh, this is just too much. It's an overwhelm of information. Well, buckle up, Buttercup, because it's going to get worse. Hear me now, believe me later. Okay? And your thoughts might get jumbled, so you're going to get confused. It's going to be a lot going on all at once, and you're going to be lost in the sauce. Especially if you don't like listening, you don't like reading. Oh, you in trouble. Okay? Some things you hear might be confusing or not true. We already have that problem. I told you Mercury is the god of thieves and liars. So what's going to happen is there's going to be more gossip. And liars are going to get better. Okay? So we've seen this before. Now I want you to do something with me. If you have an iPhone, and even if you don't have an iPhone, follow along with me. I'm going to show you something that how people will deceive you. And if you are not Love and Hip Hop, Basketball Wives fan. Now you remember when, what was her name? Evelyn was going with Ocho, right? And he was trying to talk to OG. Evelyn's like, I have the text right here of all of you, right? This is some old school tricks, right? Of you only talking to him. And she said, hold on, let me show you the full text, right? So on iPhones, and I've told you this before, you can go into the text, right? Just pick any text you want to. Click your side. Let me see. So you can click your side, go down to more. I don't know how it shows up on your phone, and you can delete every last thing you said. So, if you're dating a cheater, they can delete every last thing they said to make it appear that the third party was just talking to themselves, since we like blame shifting a lot. Yeah, that's how they deceive you. They'll delete everything. But now, they're going to get smarter. They're going to get more trickier, because the game ain't changed, right? It's kind of like bank robberies. I have a friend that works in bank security, cyber, right? And I was like, how in the world is people, now we're not talking about what we see on Grit or the Western channels, right? They come in and stick them up, rob the bank. They're on the computer now. That's why I was talking about, if my friend would have scanned that code, they could have got into their phone. So wiped out all their bank accounts. They're getting smarter. They're getting faster. They'll done wiped you out before you even know it. Or they'll done deceived you before they know it. People gonna be out here lying, and they're gonna be spreading misinformation. I want to give you another quick example to show you how misinformation and people half doing things. Black people, you know what I said in my head. Some of my peoples, y'all know what I said too in my head, but I'm not gonna do that, right? There was a doctor in the 90s, and he did a study, and he cherry picked what he wanted to put in his studies. Not only that, he didn't follow the entire scientific mode. Before the medical journal double checked his work, they published it. So this happened in London, right, in England. His lie, now remember, the internet isn't out yet, spread all around the world. But then they found out what he did. They took his license, they removed the article, but the damage was done. That same lie that he told 20-something years ago, right? 29 years ago, is still believed to this very day. Even though it has been debunked, even though he lost his license, and even though it was removed from the medical journals, the damage has already been done. Then what happened? This doctor, years later, started using Instagram and other platforms because his ego, he wanted to prove a point, told the same lie and got people that wasn't aware of this, because then I was in high school. I wasn't thinking about stuff like that, right? I was too busy getting my hair done and fashion, but now I'm an adult. So the same lie came out 2014, 2015. And instead of people asking the right questions, they blindly believed. So the lie was reinvented and spread quicker throughout the world. and people still believe the same lie today. Okay? So you want to be careful of that. So people might act too fast without really thinking things through. Reactive. We talk about people being reactive. And I'm very worried, especially in my community, the Black community. Other communities as well, but I know my people. Okay? They don't think things through. Before technology, somebody will come and lie. Well, such and such said this about you, he. Right? Oh, what? I'm going over there. I'm woo. Instead of saying, why did they talk to you about it? Why are you coming back? Why you didn't check them for me? Where was y'all at? How? When? Where? You gotta think about these things. Some people believe that when people don't respond to, because liars know this. Liars are getting better, y'all. They're getting better. They know when you don't react to things, it makes them look innocent. When actually, they still lie. See, when I was at MCC, and I took a computer class, another computer class, and they was talking about hacking. So there are people that hack into devices and stuff like that. But then you can learn how to hack for good. Kind of like Phoebe on the first Criminal Minds. Is that Criminal Minds or CSI or something like that? Yeah, like Phoebe. Y'all know who Phoebe is. Y'all know, I think that's her name. Phoebe, I think that was her name. She was the eccentric computer wizard, okay? And she was a hacker. So since she knew they game, right? She can counteract. It's like offense and defense. She knew both sides of the game, right? And that's how we gonna have to be. Okay? So what should we do? What do you do with this information, right? You try to stay calm. Don't believe the hype. Don't believe, oh, that was one, all right. But you don't believe the hype. Stay calm. And pay attention. The Fool card is also to clumsiness and accident prone. Okay? So even when things feel messy, you want to stay cool. Keep it cool. Right? Don't believe the hype. And pay attention to where you're going and what you're doing. You don't have to take everything. Focus on what really matters. What is important in your life right now? Everything else is a distraction. It's noise. Right? I already told you about this with academic abuse. Okay? Academic abuse extends further than just teacher and student. This can go with romantic partnerships or familiar, or even platonic or romantic. Right? Friends. You're studying, your friends telling you everything, they're calling your phone. Your partner might do something, just start, all of a sudden they being extra loud in the background and stuff while they know you're studying. It's game. All right? It's game. But you don't know this because you probably, a lot of us never, because I didn't find out until I got 2023. Like I knew what was going on, but I didn't know the name for it. It's called academic abuse. They'll call your phone, or they'll start a fight with you right before you have an exam. Or while you're studying, they'll cause confusion. Mm-hmm. That's what they do. So we had a little taste of this last year. So the beginning of last year, we had all this stuff going on in the media. I have a subscription to New York, New York Times, the Post, U.S. News, all this, right? And it seemed like every 5 seconds, it felt like it, because it's going to get quicker. We already got a little taste of this. There was something jumping off, a new problem. Now I have to watch the news. I haven't watched the news in years, like really watch it. But I read newspapers, right? Because I have to know what's going on. And people with money, right? That 5%, they're going to really think that they're untouchable. You're not higher than no planet, baby. I'm just here to let you know. Celebrities, all y'all, you gonna get it too. Everybody can get it, is what this transition is saying. Okay? So it was just everything, I was like, it became an information overload for me. So I had to start narrowing down and pay attention to what really matters for me. So use this energy to learn and understand, not panic. Where would you learn this at? Well, your local library. Now, I am blessed to live in where I live at. Next month, our library is starting free AI courses. I've told you in the past that they have courses on how to use your phone. They had courses on how to use your computer, new technology, if you just know the basis or you need to brush up on your skills. I told you before, I don't know if they still do it. Google was giving free courses and you get a certificate for it after you're done, if you have that time. But my mother used to say, we make time, a person makes time for what's important to them. So, this is just me. If I had a partner and they told me they were busy, you don't have time for me. And we don't need to be together. I need time. Quality time is one of my love languages. My love language, right? People remember what they want to remember. People see what they want to see. They're deceptive. How are we part of the same crew? You saw what they did, but you ignored me graduating. I know my people. I was around them all my life. I know how they operate. I know what they do. I know the games they play. Oh, I ain't even been on social media. You lying. You just liked the such and such post 12 minutes ago. Don't lie myself. And I'll just say, okay. The sad thing, the only way I knew is because when I see their name as one of the likes. But had the audacity to lie that fast. But I just say, okay. I'm not finna argue with you. Now I know how you cut. Okay? So you want to take free courses. If you have the money to take a workshop at the community college or the rec center or wherever you're at, go for it. But you can learn this stuff from your local library. Okay? The library isn't just about books no more. The library is innovating. All right? So the lesson with this hexagram, 55, is to learn to slow down, right? And focus on what's important. Stop, pause, think about it. Don't react. Don't believe the hype. Ask the right questions. Okay? So the next hexagram I have is number 63. Now, I know I've lost a lot of people, and this is where they're gonna get lost in the sauce. So I asked, how can the collective best navigate disruptions and information and communication during Uranus and Gemini? So we have water over fire, which is after completion. You'll see the picture, or already finished. So what you're going to see is that some of the systems look like they're done, right? But they're not truly stable. Okay? So communication systems, the internet, social media, AI, and social platforms, right? Media and social platforms may feel advanced or complete, like they already have it figured out. But underneath, they are still fragile and constantly changing. Your phone, if you have your phone, it'll say update. At first, it was like, updates was like every 2 months or something like that. Now they're faster. It seems like I'm updating my phone and my computers and stuff every 2 weeks now. I know I'm not the only one who noticed this, right? So, again, an example is of social media with false information or misinformation. They thought, all right, they'll think like they fixed the problem, right? We have fact checker and stuff like that, all right? I even got caught up with fact checker, but this is before I got into college. I would look at something, and before I learned how to look at credible sources and stuff like that. They actually launched something last month on how to know fake news when you see it, right? And I forgot to write down the source for you so you can watch it yourself if you felt like it, because I wasn't going to waste my time. You would think that, okay, can't no fake news, can't no deep fakes, because deep fakes are getting better, right? Getting better. AI is getting better. I thought I had some AI over here, and then I see my friend, and he made himself look like he was a whole entertainment host. I'm like, what AI is he using? Right? We was using the same. He just paid for the upgrade. Technology is a program. People are good and bad. I seen some false information being circulated on the internet the other day that Chat was accused of telling somebody they're going to key their car. Chat cannot do that. Chat won't do that. That was false news. And a lot of people, because I know I'm not the only one, a lot of people saw that article and they actually believed it. They didn't question it. And they probably haven't even used AI, Chat, Gemini, or any of them to know that it can't do that. Because it's more than just Chat. Right? You got Claude, you got Gemini, which used to be Barb. What else is there? There's another one. There's a couple more, right? It's like we could use it for artwork and stuff. Right? There's different apps you can use for that. So a platform adds fact-checking tool and says the problem is solved, right? Well, what happens, right? You think you done solved the problem. But people find new ways to spread rumors. Because there's always going to be gossipers. There's always going to be liars, right? So they're going to figure out how to get better at lying and stealing, right? Like I said, the AI will look more convincing. Deep fakes. I was watching Cross, right? And on my show Cross, right? There was a deep fake, and it looked so real. And if the person wasn't a logic, they was crazy, right? They was mad as I don't know what. But the person actually could talk to them and say, wait. Have your person run and check it. And they said, okay, I'm going to have my person check it. If it ain't right, I'm coming back for you. I love that show, right? Turns out it was a deep fake. So basically what they're doing is someone, and the tarot community has experienced it as well too. They'll have scammers. They're going to get smarter with it. They'll reach out into your inbox. It's kind of like somebody telling you, the Lord came and wanted to tell, the Lord want me to tell you. When a logical person was like, why the Lord can't tell me they self? You know, the Lord, you can't tell me nothing. If the Lord want me to know, the Lord tell me. See what I'm saying? So, they're going to get more convincing. So they'll take your face and they'll put it on somebody. Like, all right, y'all seen it where they'll put, like they've been putting rappers, these celebrities' faces on another thing and creating it, right? But now the technology is going to make it look smoother. You're not going to be able to tell that it's another face on a different body. It's going to look like them. And they're already doing it. Okay? Old systems don't catch new tricks, right? Systems will need constant updating and attention. I told you they're updating every 2 weeks, it seems like, right? I have a family member that is a liar, right? And I was telling somebody today, I've never been so happy in my life that my family member was a liar, because it protected me, right? So another liar, thinking they the most cleverest person in the room, was trying to lie to me. Oh, but my family member stepped in. Master manipulator, right? And they said, no, you're deflecting. No, you're shifting blame. No, you're doing this. So I'm watching two liars go head to head. But my family member was the more superior liar. And so my family member, and the first time in their life, was telling the truth. It's like how you can't run game, or you can't play the player. You can't outlie a liar. I am a more advanced liar than you are, homie, is what they basically said. Because every lie that this person tried to tell, my family member was like, bah, 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 bah. I ain't never been so proud of my family member being a liar in their life. Told you, it's the hack to catch a thief. How the saying say, if you want to catch it takes a thief to catch a thief. It takes a liar to catch another liar. I was so happy that day. Oh, they made me so proud. That was the first time I was happy they was a professional liar. Because I don't even believe them. But I guess they got some of my morals. Like, I'll lie to them, but you ain't finna lie to my family member. Oh no, the only one playing them is me. Which brings me another thought before I go to that. I was thinking, Like I told you, when I was a teenager and a young adult, there were certain things I just didn't think about. Some things I didn't know until I got older. And I know there's a lot of young people know psychological terms. And I was volunteering in my son's class. Some of these schools, my son's in the 5th grade. They doing career readiness. And they're learning psychology in a way they can understand. So I thought to myself, why would these young people know all these psychological terms and all this? It's either one or two reasons. They learned while they was in school, or they've been in therapy. And they learned these things, these psychological terms and concepts, and then they weaponize them. That's what they're doing. But they're gonna get better. So, the biggest risk is getting comfortable too soon. So this is when our arrogance will come into play. We already understand technology now. No, you don't. You don't even know what half your apps on your phone could do. You don't know everything that your computer can do. So I'm going to recommend, I'm going to advise that if you get a new device in these next 8 years, that you go to, because they don't come with the instruction books no more. Your phones, your laptops, they don't come with the instruction books no more, right? They don't come with the owner's manual. I'm going to advise that you go on that company's site or give them a call or email them, however way you want to do it, and ask them for the instructions to the make and model of your phone or your device. And when you get that information, you read every last single word. I don't care how long it takes you. So you'll know everything it can do and what it can't do. Because you might mess up something and find out the hard way. You know how information works. Oh, I already know it. I know. I've been doing this for 20-something years. 30, 40. I've been doing this since the 50s and 60s. Arrogance. Your arrogance. Right? Oh, baby, the game is going to change. You better take the time and tone it down. Sit back and learn something. Oh, I could teach them. I'm smarter than the professors and I could do it. Then why you ain't doing it? Why you ain't doing it? Arrogance. Not trying to learn. Okay? Things are already under control. That's a lie from the pits of hell. I tell y'all this story all the time. Banking. Let's talk about money. Oh, your ears perked up now, huh? Went to the store, to the corner store. Asked them, well, guess what? The system was down. They couldn't run no cards. They couldn't do no tap. Couldn't do nothing. They had to have cash. You know how people look? Oh, I don't got no cash on me. All I got is card. Okay. Oh, I don't got no physical. I got tap. The arrogance. The nerve of some people, children, right? Lucky for me, I had cash. Right? I gave them a $100 bill. System's down. They told them how much to give me back. Problem was, they miscounted. And I knew they miscounted. So I took my time and the change. Right? This such and such cents equals 5. 5 is 10. Another 10, 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, 120, 140. You gave me $40 too much, bro. We got a problem. I keep this extra $40 since you got the attitude problem. But since I'm me, I'm gonna give you this money back. And when I come in here again, number one, you will never give me an attitude again. And I want a free pop every month, every day, for a month, on you. Or your drawer can come up short, because this is my money really now. Yeah, that free pop was nice. And it was nice for them to treat me with respect. Okay? Because they're arrogance. Oh, I know this. I got to control. I know it. I even done it. My professor said, Ebony, do you got it? And I'm like, yeah, I got it. I got it. Ebony, you understand? Yeah, I got it. I understand. I ain't know it. I ain't understand it. And I got humbled. Then I had to crawl back to my professor and say, will you teach me? Lucky my professor was a very nice person, said, we'll take it step by step. Okay? So where are we? So AI communications should feel fully developed. People think chatbots are smart. Technology is machines. It still goes haywire. Translation apps. I was in school. I was trying to say hood in Spanish, right? But it actually gave me hood, like a hood of a car or something, instead of saying barrio. I know my Spanish still sucks, right? So I looked at the translation app and they're like, no, that's not what you're trying to say. What you're trying to say is this. I was like, oh, okay. You see what I'm saying? Because even when people are, even humans, when they're trying to translate information, that's why they would ask me, they would say, oh, they understand Spanish. I'm not doing it because I can't speak Spanish. And I can't translate exactly what I'm saying to them and make sure they understand exactly what I said. Because if I trust you, I don't trust you. You might switch up my words or what I said or take something I said out. And I'm like, no, that's not what I said. Understand? So we can trust outsmart summaries. Somebody asked me when I was doing my capstones, well, why you won't have chat to do it? Because number one is cheating, and number two, we have systems that can pick up on other systems to know that I was cheating. They got Quillbot and they got Turnitin. It's not that simple. You got to have a hacker to catch a hacker. A cheater to catch a cheater. A liar to catch a liar. A thief to catch a thief. I hope I'm making sense to somebody. So the reality is AI makes mistakes, okay, and makes stuff up. Okay, when I'm looking at things and I'm like, no, that's not right. Oh, you caught it. Yeah, I caught it, because that's not right. So you want to keep questioning, ask who, what, when, where, how. Don't take it blindly, right? And verify it. Have somebody proofread it. You proofread it. Don't be such in a rush. You're going to make a mistake. 2 more points and then we're done. I told you I wasn't going to rush this because it was a lot for me to write and because it's important to me. You can't rush everything, right? This is not a microwave lesson. The key to navigating disruption is constant care. Even when things seem stable, people must keep checking systems. Shane was doing a math problem the other day, right? And I said, That's wrong. That's wrong. That's wrong. Right? Because he was trying to rush. So I had to threaten him. If you don't take your time and do this math problem right, you will not watch that TV. I will take your devices. And you will sit here until you get it right. Now, if you need my help, I'm right here. I'll help you. Okay, just help me, Mom. Okay? So I said, let me show you how I learned how to do this, right? Because sometimes the new mathematics is a little bit more complicated than it should be. I'm sorry, I said what I said. So I showed them the way I did it. Oh, do you see where you made a step in your multiplication of miscalculation? Okay. We had to do it the old-fashioned way. We had to do it the longer way, but he got the right answer. Okay? Even remember, humans make mistakes, even if they are professionals. And some people can't admit. Yesterday, I meant to say August 23rd is the beginning of Virgo season. But I said September 23rd because I went back and listened to it, right? That's why I said, I apologize. This is what I meant. Because I was talking too fast. And I do it with all my videos. I do it, I watch it, I catch a mistake, I put it down in the chat. No shade, all right? I'm human. I make mistakes, all right? Stay aware of errors and misinformation. Don't listen to the almighty they. Who is they? My uncle used to say, who is they? Well, they said, who is they? What school they went to? Who, what degree, what even you, okay. And I'm not trying to say that they don't know what they're talking about because they don't have an education. But sometimes, right? Because there are people that never been to school, but they do have information. But some people are just really deceptive and they make up things in their head. You got to question them, right? Check your errors. Read those contracts. My mom said, and if, but, and or will screw you every time in them contracts. Read the fine print. Get you a magnifying glass and look at it. This is what's going to happen during this transition. Okay? Have somebody proofread your work. When I used to write for my scholarships and stuff, I would send it to my support specialist. I'll send it to a couple of people and have them reread it and see what I wrote. More time, but I started early, so I had time to correct it. With my professor, I had to write that capstone so many times. I could have got an A+, but I said I'd take the A-. Okay? He kept reading and reading and reading and reading. I can't get down, and he's younger than me. Right? So he caught my mistakes. Like he was an old man or something. Even my other professor. Younger, they way younger than me. They was catching, they was on. Right? And then the older ones too. Well, Ebony, looks like here. Okay? So continue updating how communication is handled. I told you there's different forms of communication that is better than others. Sometimes we seen on social media is that they'll have the comments right under the main post, and someone it'll say at Ebony, right? So I know that they're talking to me. So see your way out of it, right? Because people like to jump in other people's conversations and start confusion. They gonna do this more, right? I was talking to a friend, and this dude started attacking me, and I'm like, I'm not even talking. I don't even know you. Why is you talking to me? So then they start making where you're talking directly to who you're talking to. Okay? News cycles move faster than truth can catch up. I told you. About time that doctor, they proved that doctor skipped the steps to the scientific method, was cherry picking, and was taking what he needed and throwing the rest out, right? And he was in a rush, right? It spread. And then when technology, social media platforms came out, he told the same lie, and it spread faster. He stuck to over a 30-year-old lie. Knew he was lying. Lost his license. And still was able to tell people the same lie. A headline goes viral in minutes. Right? We see that with social media. Sometimes I see stuff on social media quicker than I do on the news. Or the old school way. My friend lives on the East Coast. She called me with bad news. I told her she was a lie from the pits of hell. Do not blaspheme like that. Talking about one of my favorite people, right? I wake up the next morning, it's all over social media. My friend knew before I did. Right? She knew before. Them on the East Coast knew way before we did here on the West Coast. Because they're there. They're already there. They knew, she knew. I said, is the stars in y'all backyards? Are they in your neighbors? How y'all be knowing stuff so fast? Right? Corrections comes hours or days later. Now, corrections would come years back in the day. Right? But those hours and days can be crucial. Many people never see the correction. That's it. People never question it. Oh, such and such said this, and such and such said that. It's gotta be true. They is lying, and they never question it. And we, a lot of us, we was taught not to question, right? Not to question authority. We believe truth to be truth because we was taught not to question authority. That's not right. They be wrong. So you want to double check your sources, right? Small mistakes matter in advanced systems. So when communication is fast and complex, one small error or misunderstanding can spread quickly and cause bigger issues. Exactly. Okay. I'm not even sure if I did it. A system had me down as another ethnicity group. And I'm trying to uncheck it. Why did it say this, right? Why is this here? It wouldn't let me do it. So at this point, I had to go face to face with birth certificate and my driver's license to show them and prove that I am not part of this ethnic group. Maybe I should have lied and said that I've probably been in a lot better situation than I'm in now, but you know what I mean? Those small errors. And, if, but, and, or. In them contracts. You don't understand it. When you're in court, they talking super fast. They using terminology you don't understand. And you like, yes, Judge. No, Judge, I'm sorry. Could you dumb it down for me? I didn't go to law school. Could you explain to me? When I'm talking to my doctor, I didn't go to medical school. I need you to Sesame Street this for me. When I talk to, I don't have to worry about my pharmacist. Especially when, shout out to Dr. Ahmad. When Dr. Ahmad in there, you go get schooled. I told Dr. Ahmad something happened to me, and I knew it was wrong, and he knew I knew what I was talking about, and he went straight into chemistry. And he dummied it down so cold for me where it, like, Shane even understood what he said. He need to teach again. He wasn't he did teach pharmaceuticals or everything, but that's a cold man. When I see him, I know I'm gonna learn something. And if he had the time, give me a water and a snack while I listen to this lecture, okay? So that's all that I have for you. Keep in mind, systems, you don't know everything. You don't know it all, right? Systems are going to get faster. People are going to be lying more, and they're going to be sneakier more because thieves are going to get more advanced, okay? There's going to be abundance of information. It's going to be black. All right, you think this was bad? Watch the next 8 years. I'm going to leave this up until next Sunday, okay? Because I want everybody to understand this. And if you have a question, or astrologers, because this is more astrology. Astrologers, if y'all see something I missed or want to correct me on something, you know you're more than welcome to check me and to inform me correctly, right? But remember, just ask the question. It might be somebody else got the same question. I'm not going to tell you how to cast it I Ching. That cost me too much money to learn how to do. That was part of my divination. So I'm not going to tell you how I did that. I will show you that I drew it, but that's about it. Okay? So take care. Have a great week. Don't believe the hype. Chill, and it'll be all right. Okay? Take care. Ciao.